Should you be training to failure, and why? Okay, so this is a very heated topic as of late. Some people are on the camp that you should train to true failure every single time, while other people are arguing that you should train with reps in reserve. Now, there's merits to both of these arguments. So, the idea of training to true failure is that you get the most effective reps possible. So, for most sets, we have about 5 stimulating reps, and these are the 5 last reps of the set, which are the hardest and therefore the slowest contracting. But we do have some people that argue that we should train with reps in reserve. So this means that we'll decrease the amount of stimulating reps we have per set, but then we can argue that there's less fatigue, so you can do more sets. Now, I think there's definitely some merits to not killing yourself on every single set, but the reality is that for most people, you don't even know how to train to true failure anyways. So when you're training to what you think is true failure, you're actually still leaving a lot of reps in reserve. So for most people, probably 95% of people, you should be training to true failure, because true failure for you is not really true failure. Another thing to note that I don't see gets talked about often is that the last rep is actually the most stimulating, because the last rep is when mechanical tension is the highest, because the contraction velocity is the lowest. This is something to have in mind, because every stimulating rep is not as stimulating as each other. So the last rep is going to be more stimulating than the second, and the second is going to be more stimulating than the third. But at the same time, the last stimulating rep is also going to create the most amount of fatigue. So in essence, it's a really hard question to answer. So I think for most people, training really hard is going to be the best course of action. So unless you're somebody who has been in the game for decades and knows how to train really, really well, I don't think leaving reps in reserve is the way to go. Now, of course, there's definitely going to be periods where this is just not attainable. If you have an injury, you may need to train smarter. Or if you just enjoy doing 4 sets for every exercise, then maybe leaving 1 or 2 reps in reserve can be beneficial. But this is something that's very person dependent, as it is with most things.